what's up? Today I want to show you how to make a beautiful, delicious, and simple shepherd's pie made with leftover Easter lamb. Easter's over, the hoopla's done, but we're left with a little leftover lamb and you don't know what to do with it? I'm your guy. So to start us off, we're going to preheat our oven, 400 degrees Fahrenheit or about 200 degrees Celsius. Get that off and going. Next thing, I'm going to put my pan on, get it preheating, and to save you all the torture, I've already pre-peeled and cleaned my potatoes. Now for this, I am using about 1.5 pounds of potatoes. I've got my water pre-boiling as well. So all I'm going to do to speed up the cooking time is just cube them up into like 1-inch squares. Very, very easy. These potatoes will literally take about 15 minutes, 12 to 15 minutes to boil up. So these are ready to go. I'm just gonna dump them in here. That's out of the way. So our pan is heating up nicely. The next thing, or the first thing to go in here, is we're gonna be building up our flavor profile. So I'm gonna be using 1 onion, and all I'm gonna do for this is very simply just slice it up. Perfect. So I'm going to take about 1/4 cup of Greek extra virgin olive oil. I'm just going to add my onions to it. There's that sizzle. I love that sizzle. Perfect. Just give this a quick stir there and get it going. The next thing to go in is 1 clove of garlic will go into this. So that's perfect right there. Off to the side. And that's how our story started. Now with this, it literally takes about 15 minutes or so of prep time and about 25 to 35 minutes of cook time in terms of in the oven. All right. The next thing is leek. I've got this old, tired looking leek, and doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. It just means the flavor's still there, but it doesn't look the greatest. So what I'm gonna do, or what you should be doing, is you start with the root end, and you cut about 1 inch from the bottom, and just cut it in half like this. So now we have all our fronds and our leaves opening up. You're going to take this now, the outer ratty parts you're going to get rid of, and you're going to wash this real quick. And you're going to wash this away from the root side. So that way any dirt or any caca that's in there, we don't want that in our food. Do a coarse chop. This is a rustic shepherd's pie, so I want the pieces not to be tiny. I want to be able to see everything that's in there. So I'm going to take this, throw it in there, and the smells that are being released already are fantastic. I'm going to use a very small amount of salt in this because the lamb that we're going to be adding later is already fully cooked and seasoned. I'm going to take about a teaspoon of dried rosemary is going to go in this. I'm going to do a generous amount of pepper. Love pepper in these kinds of recipes. A little optional chili flake is always nice. Just throw that in there. Add a little spice to your life. And I love storing my herbs and spices in these little mason jars. They have a rubber-lined seal. Perfect. Keeps them fresh. And fennel. Absolutely love fennel seed. Again, another teaspoon of fennel seed will go in there. And this is already starting to look amazing. There goes our oven, set to 400. The next thing is some mushrooms. And I'm using just some small portobello mushrooms and just hack them up. I've said this before, get back here. I've said this before a million times. people say you shouldn't wash your mushrooms and you should just kind of clean them up with a little towel or whatever. Here's the thing. In my world, dirt is dirt. If they've got dirt on them, I washed it. And the flavor is nothing, it doesn't take that much away from the flavor when you wash them. At least that's what I found. The star of our show, the lamb. I've got leftover lamb from Easter and the coffee. Look at this. You got these beautiful pieces of lamb left over. Why waste? It is a sinful waste and it's a terrible thing. It absolutely is. I've also got here some leftover leg of lamb, and there's some meat left on the bone. Now, with this, the next part that's not so Greek, but it's European, is beer. Lamb and a good stout go together like cornflakes and milk. It is absolutely delicious. And for this, I'm gonna do about 1.5 cups of Guinness, or a dark stout beer. And let that go, let the alcohol burn off. And what we're gonna start doing is start chopping up our lamb and kind of get it to smaller sized pieces. And if there's any kind of tissue or whatever, this is when you want to just kind of eliminate it. Next thing is some frozen peas and corn. Absolutely love this. And I'm going to do about a cup of each in this. So 1 cup of frozen peas and 1 cup of frozen corn. And this is going to be a very, very colorful dish. So now our alcohol has burned off from our beer that's in this. It's heating through. The next thing to do is I want this to tighten up as well. So I'm going to take a couple of tablespoons of flour and I'm going to throw it in here now, so that way it has a chance to cook off that pasty flavor of the flour. That's perfect right there. And now we just work this, and we continue to work this. So time to add our lamb in here, and this is about 350 grams of roasted lamb that I've already prepared from the other day. So that's going to go in there as well. It's going to heat itself through. Okay, so my potatoes are done. They're pretty much ready to go. I'm just going to throw in my strainer or my colander and get those draining so we can mash them up. Now, here's the thing with these mashed potatoes. I'm still going to do a little bit of garlic in them. You just need 1 clove of garlic. So just throw that in there. Perfect. I'm going to take a little bit of pepper and go into this. The next part of this, as we mash, is I'm going to do about 50 to 60 grams of crumbled feta into this. And actually, you know what? This is done. It's just bubbling away. It's thickened up to a gravy consistency, which is exactly what I want. Just gonna get just down and dirty and mash these up a little bit. So now the garlic, the feta is just hit the heat of the potatoes, and do a little bit of olive oil And that will also help my potatoes brown in the oven. Oh, the feta's melting and it's becoming like, this is like mashed potatoes 2.0. Now, don't overdo it either, because you're gonna stretch the starch and whatnot in this, the glutens, and it's gonna be like gummy, so we don't want that. Now, let me just move this out of the way here. It's like so much mess, but it's okay, it's so worth it. And just pour all of this gorgeous, gorgeous deliciousness into your baking pan. Don't want to miss any of this goodness. Love this. So I'm going to take this. Just don't waste a morsel of this. This is all delicious goodness, and oh, my gosh. And just take it and just spread it evenly around. Doesn't have to cover it 100%. This isn't plastering. We're just spreading it out evenly. All right, so ready to go. This is gonna go into my 400-degree oven for about 25 to 35 minutes, or until you see your potatoes turning GBD, baby, golden brown and delicious. Oh boy, this is just out of the oven literally about 5 or 6 minutes ago. It spent about half an hour in there. It's all bubbled over here. It's bubbled over on top, all that deliciousness. I'm good with that. I am so good with that. This is absolutely, the aroma, the smell in here. Oh, if heaven had a smell, it would probably be this. Absolutely delicious. And I can't wait to try this, even though it's like hotter than sin. So I'm just gonna dig in. What could go wrong? All right, look at this. My potatoes have crusted. Oh, it's like a stew. Look at this. The pieces of lamb with the potato. Ooh. That is so delicious. That is so freaking delicious. I feel like saying bad words. It's like that good. My friends, this is shepherd's pie amplified and using ingredients that we had on hand. All this lamb didn't go to waste. Tonight's dinner is probably going to be leftovers for tomorrow night too, and I will have this with pleasure. So that's it for this episode on my leftover lamb shepherd's pie. Got a little kick to it, got a little bite, but it is crazy delicious. The feta as well adds a certain briny tang to the mashed potatoes. Definitely a hit, and I invite you to try this. Please hit that like button if you like this video, which I hope you did. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. This recipe will be online as well at kensgreektable.com. And until next time, please take care of yourselves and each other. Keep cooking great food. Doesn't have to be complicated, but it will definitely be delicious. Thanks again for watching. Much love. Bye for now.